Good day, people. Today I'm going to be doing a study on the upper limbs. So I'm going to be tackling the muscles and the structure of the forearm, not necessarily the hands. Of course, there will be some drawings of the hands, but I'm just going to be looking at the forearm in general. So the upper and the lower forearm, if there's anything like that. So that's what I'm going to be looking at. Just a note here. I'm going to be looking at things like probably going to be looking at tutorials and things like that, and this is going to be in parts because the video is going to be so long and I honestly don't want to edit, right? So I don't want to edit a lot. So you could increase the speed of the way I'm talking or whatever to get you through the video, so that the video could be fast or whatever. But in this video, what I'm trying to do is that I'm not trying to teach in this video. This is not a video for teaching how to draw the arms or the forearms. It's a video of me learning how to draw the forearms, right? It's not like I don't know how to draw the forearms, but I've never ever done a proper study of drawing the forearms, and that's kind of what I'm going to do here. And I'm going to show the process of how I study. This is how I study every single parts human anatomy that I'm looking at. I'm not necessarily going to memorize all the muscle, but I'm going to show you that I do it over and over and over again, draw over and over again, draw different poses over and over again, draw the muscle over and over again. And that's how I improve. And it's not going to be a one-time thing. It's going to be something I do over the course of my life in general, whenever I'm feeling like it is art. So we have to find ways for it to be fun. And today I'm going to be looking at, I'm going to be taking, I did a lot of screenshots from the book Anatomy for Sculptors. It's a very, very important and vital material if you are looking to do studies on the human anatomy. So I recommend the book. It's very helpful. And the best way to learn is to actually practice, right? So you actually have to get, the work done on your end. What am I looking for? Looking for something to clean my tab. Anyways, so that's what I'm going to be doing here, right? And from what I've known or what I know about drawing the arm in general, because I'm someone that follows structure a lot, the principle of structure a lot, and using skeleton shapes to actually get the pose of what I'm looking for, using simple shapes to get what I'm looking for, right? So whenever I draw, I use simple shapes. So like in this case, in this arm, I'm using a cylinder, and that is how I operate generally. That's how I study, and then what I do is that I then look for references of the arm in that pose, and then I begin to detail and take note of things like the counterbalance of the arm and stuff like that that actually make the pose a bit more interesting and give it the form that it has. So that's what I'm looking at here. So from like we have this diagram here of the arm in different directions. So how I would study this is that like I would usually what I did for most of the muscles is that I look at each muscle and then I go online to see how that muscle looks individually connected to like the bone, whether it's the ulna, the radius, or the humerus bone, or whatever bone like in the rest of the body. And then I actually try to see how which bone overlaps which bone, well, which muscle overlaps which muscle, and then I draw, and then I try to make the connections. But I didn't know that the forearm had so much muscle on it, and there's just a lot of things that are just going on in the hand. So I'm not going to do that. It's just going to be too much work. What I'm simply going to do is I'm going to like try to note the major shapes and the major structure that actually make up the arm, and then probably look at the what I call them. Look at those like intricate little muscles here and there that actually make up the arm. So I'm going to take note of that. So I'm going to look at this view of the arm. So the way I draw is that simple shapes, right? So right, and then we'll have this. This is how I draw my arm, and there's a tip that's kept me. It's how I draw my arm. So I use this, and then what I do is that I use like a cylinder, or a tube. As they say, the arm is a tube, and then I put my arm like this, and then I'm done with the shape. And then this arm over here, I'm just gonna try and do their shapes first, right? This one, and then put this one down here like this. Right. So we're gonna have this one here, and this tube here, and that's for side view. This for another view. It's just a little bit, and then and lastly, I don't know what these angles are, but I know there's a front side and three quarter, right, and back view angle of the hands. Right, so once I have this, the next thing I'm going to do is going to detail it a bit. I just erase it a little bit and again applying the detail that actually make it look better. And that's where, like, this is what I just did here, structure. I just applied the basic structure that's just going to simplify things for me. And now I'm going to detail it. I'm going to look at the forms that actually make it look the way it is. So I have here our deltoid. And when you're studying, you don't have to make everything look detailed. You're just trying to understand what's going on. At least that's what I do, so that like the study process will be smoother and easier. Like I don't have to get everything as detailed as possible because I know this is not the first or this is not the last time that I'm going to do a study like this. So when I probably begin to look at the arm, like the names of the muscles or whatever, that's when I'm going to sort of. And sometimes it's a lot harder than it looks. One thing I'll sort of do is that whenever I'm drawing like this, I'll try and color code it, especially in this first view, so that when I'm color coding in other angles, it's going to be a lot more easier. Yo, that's just a lot going on, man. I can't lie. Even though I won't see it. Even though like it's something that's not going to be visible when I'll try not to focus too much on the hand. And just out my hair, boy. Mm-hmm. As soon as the triceps, and that's the brachialis, and there's the biceps over here. Right. All right. So I can't lie, man. This is mad confusing. This is mad confusing. Okay. This one's longer. Has the triceps here. Yeah, that's one of my favorite muscles to draw. Oh, the amount of muscles in a human being is crazy. And as much as the muscles are important, don't forget the shape and the form that you're trying to get. The form is most important, I believe. Like a barca. Rinjega. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that looks okay. I mean, that's okay for now. Brother. Oh, God, man. At my big age, I'm still struggling with this. Oof, Lord have mercy. I made that hand too long. Alright, then this other weird looking view. I think this is the actual back view. Front side. Yeah. I think that's the back view. I'm aiming to get the form right first before we can then put on the muscles. I don't know, I just feel weird about that arm being like that. Bro, you don't know better than the people that made the book. Chill out. Okay. The triceps. Like the pain you feel on your triceps whenever you try calisthenics, man. Jesus. That pain is just, you just hate yourself. Like, you just make you not even want to try whatever calisthenic move it is that you're trying or trying to work out. It's the most annoying muscle to exercise, man. It's not even that big. But it's just there and it's just painful. You just try to walk it. God, look at that arm, man. Pure protein, man. Pure protein. If you're Hannibal, I guess. Okay. Did I spell that right? 5. Yeah, I spelled it right. I went to school, guys. I went to school. Yeah, I'm not missing anything. Yeah, this is just the first study, man. This is the first study. I'll go with this. Right. So we'll meet for part 2. Probably took longer than it needed to.